A classic, a classic. Es un clásico. How are y'all doing? A late stream, late stream. I was gonna jump on earlier, but I hope everyone was tuning into Black Liberation Media. Renee was hosting Alada's book tour. It's a great conversation. Sounds like it's an amazing book. I haven't made it yet, to pre-release. I'm not there yet. I'm trying to work my way up. But regardless, on Discord to let y'all know to go check it out and that I would stream after it because I didn't want in any way, and I mean, small channel, it is what it is, but like in any way to distract from that. I think the work that she does, especially now in Psychic Militancy, is so valuable. The conversations there are so fruitful, but just her work is in that book seems to be incredible. I've been making my way through her first book, and that is like, yeah, like it's it's difficult, like reading this stuff for sure. No está fácil, but it's necessary work. It's necessary work, especially like we all have our own baggage, and reading through things like that really puts a lot into perspective. So I'm excited to check out Lada's new book. But yes, a late stream, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the fact that Renee is able to do that and host these, Q&As and just, I believe the last one was with Alex for the Propaganda book. But I would love if this became like a regular thing for Black Liberation Media. I know it's very time consuming and, I mean, not everybody's publishing a book every other day. So, or books worth reading and paying attention to. But yeah, it was a lot of information there. From the clinic to the streets. yeah, that's dope. Okay, let's get to it. Is this what I wanted to start with? No, I don't. We only have like 3 or 4 articles today. It's late, but we're gonna have some fun with this. Ooh, there was one thing that I wanted to check out. Gotta give it yes. Okay. Let me put do not disturb. And this is too good to be true right here. Jesus, man. There is something that I'm gonna have to like bring up to CJ to see if he's down to cover. Where you at? Oh, perfect. Okay, found it. It's a little bit left field of what he wanted to focus on, so if not, we'll I might have to stream in the morning before that. Hold on. I also have is this it? Yes, okay. I have a bit that I'm working on. That would just highlight just the differences between me and certain white individuals on here. Georgies, if you will. Pull the fuck up and please let me find out. Please. Prove me wrong. That's all I say. That's all I'm interested in. Do incels go out in daylight? California has really strict self-defense laws. So I'm gonna have to like just really encourage them to give me an alibi. All right. Why are we starting with this? Well, Hold on. What the fuck? Here we go. This is why. You know, yesterday we saw Hassan Piker, the sex tourist, the cop collar. We seen him, the Diddy party enjoyer, by the way. If y'all don't know that, look it up. He went to a Diddy party and even talked about some of the images of underage girls that were being presented in that party. Hassan Piker for y'all. Everyone was celebrating DSA's grand victory and taking over the Democratic Party one seat at a time, but it's not entryism. It's not entryism. All right.
You said last night that you still plan to support Hakeem.
Why is that so low?
You said last night that you still plan to support Hakeem Jeffries as Speaker if Democrats take the House, even though he endorsed incumbent Congressman Dan Goldman. He did not endorse you. After sleeping on it and after seeing the results, not just in your race, but all these other races come in, I'm wondering if you still feel confident in that answer, given the pattern here and the message it seems that New Yorkers are trying to send.
So Hakeem Jeffries is like, fuck you, Prairieland, right? Not for any good reasons. They're both, Prairieland's a full-on Zionist Jewish supremacist. He's Jewish. I think Hakeem Jeffries is just in it for the money, his career. I don't think people like Hakeem Jeffries have any true ideology other than the pursuit of power. Right? I think Hakeem Jeffries and Donald Trump are very similar in that way. Although they're not the same caricature, right? They don't present themselves the same way. But I think ideologically, there is nothing there.
Yeah, I look forward to helping elect Hakeem Jeffries to be the Speaker of the House in January. He called to congratulate me, and we had a good conversation. Primaries are where we work out the direction of the party, and there's change I want to see, and we've been clear about it on corporate PAC money, on the U.S. relationship to Israel and Palestine, on fighting harder for working families. But we've got to be a unified party to do that. To me, the line is not between progressive.
A unified party. A unified party. In other words, continue to vote in the DSA. And regardless, they're going to act as a unified party. Once again, you're not changing shit within the Democratic Party. Entryism does not work. We've known this. We've known this. So anyone pushing it is misleading you. Anyone pushing it when it comes to the Democratic Party is just a Democratic Party operative. It's that simple. It's not a complicated thing.
Harder for working families, but we've got to be a unified party to do that. To me, the line is not between progressives and moderates. The line is between fighters and folders, and Democrats want a fighting party. And that looks different in different districts and different parts of the country. Hakeem Jeffries is our leader in the House. We'll make him Speaker in January. Of course, I'll work to hold him accountable, just like voters will work to hold me accountable. That's how democracy is supposed to work.
That's how democracy is supposed to work. By the way, I hate this like very passive, very calming. I hate that soothing shit. Like, well, you know, that's just the way that democracy is. You know, we got to work together and for the American people. Oh, you've got to be a unified party. You know, a lot of liberals are very frustrated with DSA. They're like, just make your own party. Stop doing this entryism shit. And it's like, they kind of have a point. Kind of, right? They're upset that their party is like, there's a hijacking of their party. Much like how the Tea Party did for the Republicans. And look what it led to, right? So, of course, nothing but good things are going to happen in the Democratic Party. But even like, with that in mind, the fact that the DSA, despite of, you know, these wins, will not break away. So the question is like, how many seats do you have to have? How much power and control do you need to have in government before you break away into a third party Or are you fully committed to this entryism and you're going to forever be the Democratic Party? You're trying to reform the Democratic Party from within, which is absolutely delusional. It's not soothing. His voice is grating. Yipper, that's because you're anti-Semitic. Breaks my heart to tell you this, but
You say we. Who are you referring to when you're talking about Sam, huh?
Well, I don't
Settlers,
get it.
Europeans.
Hold on.
You're talking about white people, or are you talking about Jewish people?
No.
no. I love that shit. Late night stream. How about that? All right. I should have done this earlier. My bad. And then there's one. Did I do that? There we go. All right, done. Let's get to it. Do we read this? Yeah, this has to be funny, right? Why is Mamdani endorsing anti-socialist genocide apologist Hakeem Jeffries? This is from November 24, 2025 by James Hoff. Ooh, I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. How does that look for y'all? Nope, even worse. Okay, let me fix this here. This should do it. All right. Kind of for you. A little less. There we go. Let's see here. Super annoying, but whatever. On Sunday morning, while many were still trying to process the meaning of Zoran Mamdani's bizarre visit to the White House, the mayor-elect confounded his supporters with yet another curveball, an endorsement of pro-Israel Democrat Hakeem Jeffries for Speaker. In an appearance on Meet the Press, Mamdani was asked, if Democrats win the midterms, do you want to see Hakeem Jeffries become the Speaker of the House? To which he quickly and firmly replied, yes. The question was clearly designed to test Mamdani's uncritical loyalty to the Democratic Party, and he did not disappoint. Indeed, since being elected, Mamdani, with a tacit support of the DSA, has gone out of his way to protect Democrats like Jeffries from criticism and political challenges to their left, much as other DSA candidates like Alejandra Ocasio-Cortez did before him. But at least AOC waited until after she was sworn in to endorse the anti-abortion apologist Nancy Pelosi for Speaker. Mamdani, on the other hand, seemed to be wasting no time making what he sees as the necessary compromises and unholy alliances needed to deliver on the promise he made on the campaign trail. While he has avoided criticizing Jeffries, who tepidly endorsed Mamdani just 4 days before the mayoral elections, this is the first time that he has officially backed him. This is not the first time that Mamdani has gone to bat for Jeffries, however. Just days before his appearance on Meet the Press, Mamdani played a crucial role arguing against Che Ose's bid to win the endorsement of the Democratic Socialists of America for his campaign to unseat Jeffries. DSA subsequently voted against endorsing Ose, effectively ending his congressional bid and all but guaranteeing that Jeffries will not face a serious primary challenge this coming June. So again, the inner workings, we covered this when it happened, when it was going down, but just to highlight, and I don't know why it took me like so long for it to click, and I didn't notice this yesterday. I was like, why was Hassan Piker so obsessed with Richie Torres? And I kind of didn't want to bring that up because my first thought was like, oh, well, Richie Torres was on the Adam Freeland show and it was like a whole circus and maybe he just wants to latch on to whatever relevance there is from that interview. And so I didn't think much of it until I remember like, well, wait, why is he not like using this energy towards somebody that really fucking matters, or at least more than Richie Torres, Hakeem Jeffries. And I'm like, oh, that's right. He's not allowed to. Hassan Piker is not allowed to go after Hakeem Jeffries in the way that Richie Torres. In the same way that he's going after Richie Torres. Let me pull something up here. Let me see if I could find it real quick. Mind you, I wasn't even planning on reading that article right now. So, you know, as usual, always gonna take me a little bit while. It's not this one. Let's see if I can find it. Maybe not too specific. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm trying to look for the one where he's like in an office, Hassan Piker is, and he's basically saying that like he has consultants and essentially handlers. The same people that are preventing him from going from outdoor rallies to outdoor rally. Yeah, I'm not going to find it. That's unfortunate. And pretty annoying. Maybe this one. No. That's so funny, bro. So much nonsense. So much absolute fucking nonsense. Oh, well. Let's try this. Hassan Piker, Democrats. Yeah, no luck. God damn. I usually have this type of shit like queued up, but not today. One last one. What is it like? Hassan working for the DNC? Thank you all for your patience, for your understanding. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to find it, which is really obnoxious. I mean, we could go over the Giannis clip again, where he's basically saying like lesser to evil bullshit, entryism. But we've seen that a couple of times. I'm not really interested in that clip right now. It's not the one I was thinking about. Oh, well. How we doing? All right, let's get back to it. Hey, Claudia, MV, keeping the deculturation chat alive. Lizzo, see y'all over there. Appreciate it. All right. While many will claim that such temporary alliances are mere politics and irrelevant to Mamdani's larger program of childcare, affordable housing, and transit, the fact remains that in the course of just 2 days, he committed the unforced error of providing left cover for both a rabidly racist right-wing authoritarian Republican and a genocide-denying anti-socialist Democrat. Indeed, Jeffries, the one of the largest recipients of pro-Israel money in Congress, is probably as bad as the Does anybody know the clip I'm talking about? It's a Hassan Piker like in Office Space, and he's talking about how he's working with the Democratic Party and consultants. I'm pretty sure it's when he was doing that conversation with Rashid Tlaib. Indeed, Jeffries, as one of the largest recipients of pro-Israel money in Congress, is probably as bad on the question of Palestine as Trump. Meanwhile, he has spent years fighting against DSA candidates in Brooklyn. But Jeffries' anti-socialism is not limited to DSA. He was also one of the supporters and signatories of the recent House bill condemning the so-called horrors of socialism, which was written as an implicit and frankly not very subtle condemnation of Mamdani. Oh, sorry about that. Thank you, Jay. We can't see, friend. Analogy, nature. Sorry, I don't know if that was just like you were expressing a personal problem. No, just kidding. Black box visual. Wow. Really? Okay. Okay, condemnation Mamdani. I mean, I really don't like this article for trying to paint Mamdani as the image of socialism, but sure. The fact that Mamdani is already making nice with politicians like Trump and Jeffries, who stand against everything he claims to believe in, shows that social democratic politicians do not see socialism as a horizon, but preemptively making peace with bourgeois politicians like Jeffrey and Governor Kathy Hochul, and it's only gotten worse since then. And by substituting the pragmatic pursuit of small gains for the larger project of effectively organizing the working class to fight for its demands, Mamdani is sawing off the branch on which he sits. No, he's pulling up the ladder behind him like Alejandro Ocasio-Cortez. That's what it is. And I wish we would have read this, sooner. But I definitely, much like Alejandra Ocasio-Cortez was promising that she would stop endorsing challenges to sitting incumbents if she was allowed to be the chair of the oversight committee, which was still denied to her. She showed her hand. These people pull up the ladder behind them. They're only interested in their power. He is also betraying the millions of New Yorkers who voted for him and the hundreds of thousands who actively campaigned for him because they truly believe that he represents something different. They are ready to fight to build a working class movement bigger than New York City. These people, along with the unions and the disconnected youth and the discontented youth of the city who were not able to vote, represent one of the greatest opportunities to build working class power this city has ever seen. Wow, really? Really? I mean, the opportunity was wasted by supporting a Democratic Party candidate in Mamdani. And the way that DSA, and this is leftvoice.org, why do we grant them the labels that they place upon themselves? The labels alone are an issue. Democratic socialists, right? I mean, that's a step away, and that's removing yourself from socialism. They could claim to be a socialist party, but adding the democratic socialist shit right there, even if we're not getting to the nuance that Hassan Piker, always hesitates to get into, I don't even think it would qualify for any of that anyways. It's very much still the Democratic Party. It's just the left wing of the Democratic Party. What the fuck does that mean to be the left of a genocidal party? What significance does that truly hold? And why should we allow them to, walk around with their heads in the fucking up there? And then how do you both have your nose in the fucking clouds and your head in your ass? I don't fucking know. Only liberals can, achieve such a feat. I just don't understand this narrative. The greatest opportunity, it was lost the moment that they supported Mamdani. If Mamdani truly wants to deliver on his promises, he will need more than a charming smile and a fair weather Jesus. If Mamdani truly wants to deliver on his promises, he will need more than a charming smile and a fair weathered political alliance in Congress and Albany. Fighting for affordable quality food, housing, and childcare for all, making transit and education free, and eliminating homelessness and poverty in New York City and everywhere requires the self-organization of the entire working class and oppressed. Such organization, however, also requires a working class party capable of directing the power of those energies towards victory. It is clear that Democrats like Jeffrey hate DSA and want them out of the party. Perhaps DSA and Mamdani should oblige them by doing exactly that. Wouldn't I was hoping so much better from this article. I'm glad that I kind of sped through it, and it's short, right? It's only a couple paragraphs. It's starting to make sense. It's starting to make sense. All right, buddy. What is this, a call for third party? It's time for a decisive step towards a socialist working class party. DSA must break with the Democratic Party from November 20th, 2025. I kind of want to read this, but not now. Definitely not now. God damn, I'm going to say this for later. Remind me that we got to laugh at this shit later. Again, who's going to be the head of your fucking party? This fucking Zionist? Yeah, that's Zionist. This is who you want your party to be, you know. Come on. Fucking ridiculous. This is who's going to head your fucking third party. And by the way, he's so much of a fucking coward to do it. He was too much of a coward to run as an independent. What makes you think that the Zionist is going to go ahead and support a third party? Donnie definitely isn't. Absolute fucking delusion. Back to back, back to back. The DSA are not your saviors. I am parched. I'm telling you, Grant Plattner and somebody's pitching Grant Plattner and this individual, I forget their long ass name, the one that was apologizing to Harris. What's worse? Apologizing to the NYPD like Mamdani did, or apologizing to Holocaust Harris? Which is worse? That is the question. Let me pull these fucking clips up. Fuck it. We're going to be here all night. Let's just settle in. Mamdani, let's see. Apologizes to NYPD.
Police officers that I spoke to, they don't want a behind closed doors apology. They want a broad public apology.
Nah. They said this is not happening in the casting couch. This is happening in broad fucking daylight, Mamdani. So act accordingly.
For the things. Police officers that I spoke to, they don't want a behind closed doors apology. They want a broad public apology for the things that you suggested about them. Will you do that right now?
Absolutely. I'll apologize to police officers right here because this is
the eye contact is crazy. Which article would you like? The one we just finished reading or the one that I said I'll save for later? If it's this one, well, I don't think it's this one. I think you're probably asking for the other one. Did I lock it out already? Yeah, I did. Here we go. All right.
The apology that I've been sharing with many rank and file officers. And I apologize because of the fact that I'm looking to work with these officers. And I know that these officers, these men and women who serve in the NYPD, they put their lives on the line every single day. And I will be a mayor that
What changed your mind about it?
You know, I moved to the city when I was 7 years old. Yeah. I grew up here. And two of the things that I thought often about was safety and justice. And growing up here, learning about the case of the exonerated five, learning about Sean Bell, learning about Eric Garner, learning about Michael Brown. And then in 2020, the year where all of these tweets are referring to, it was the year when George Floyd was killed. And it felt like safety and justice had never been further apart. And it was actually Eric Adams in 2021 who said that New Yorkers need not choose between these two things.
Again, the fact that this dude got away with quoting Eric Adams in a positive light, despite all the corruption, despite the disgusting way that the NYPD felt emboldened under Eric Adams. So many fucking red flags that were completely excused and ignored time and time again.
And so one of my focuses was, how do we deliver that justice? And now what I know, having represented 100,000 people in Western Queens, is that to deliver that justice, you have to also deliver that safety. And that means representing the men and women in the NYPD. It means representing the black and brown New Yorkers who've been victims of police brutality. It means representing the Muslim New Yorkers in my district who were surveilled on the basis of their faith.
Police.
Pretty sure Jessica Tish was involved in that surveillance. It's so good that you kept her. It's so good that you kept her. What is this individual's name? I know it's a long ass fucking name. I wonder if it's included in here. I literally have not sneezed all day. I don't know what the fuck, why it's happening now. What is her name? Is it not going to mention it here? Aish. I'm just going to look up DSA winners. It's a long ass one too. I know she's a revert. Oh, they're Elisa Avila Cavalier. Something like that. Or Chevalier.
Will you publicly now apologize to Kamala Harris?
Yes, and to Vice President Kamala Harris, I sincerely apologize because you did not deserve that language from me. And I would have loved to have seen a black woman president. As a black woman, I know how much that would.
I love this. She's like, I gotta say this. This is part of the humiliation ritual. Jeez, man. I don't know if it makes it worse or better that she's like so clearly does not fucking care. I think it's worse in a way because it's like, oh, you're willing to do things and say things that you do not believe for power. And not even like, you're not even making me believe it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even like I don't think you mean it. Again, somehow worse. These are our new revolutionaries. That's right. You goddamn better respect them.
Apologize because you did not deserve that language from me. And I would have loved to have seen a black woman president. As a black woman, I know how much that would have meant to so many, including myself.
Will you publicly now apologize to Kamala Harris?
Yes, and to Vice President Kamala Harris, I sincerely apologize because you
carried out a genocide and you did not deserve this. Wow.
did not deserve that language from me.
That language from me. I think she said something like, fuck no, I won't vote for Harris or something like that. Harris tweets. Why is it so hard to find? Oh, I have no nuance to add. Fuck Kamala Harris. all of these fucking people were tweeting like this. From Mamdani about the NYPD to Harris, right? And immediately it tells you that they already got neutered. It's a wrap. It's gone. Whatever courage they had, they sold that shit off already. She's not as polished. Yeah, definitely. But it suits the whole narrative of like, I'm not a politician. I'm not a lifelong politician. I'm just like you. So that not being polished kind of helps them out a little bit. Let's see if I can do this. All right. Like really uncomfortable today. I can't get comfortable today. I don't know why. What's funny is that the plan today was like to finally have some time to sit down tonight and watch like a movie and just enjoy the peace and the quiet. I don't allow the dog on the couch, so that would have been a bummer. But I kind of really needed like a night like that. And then I'm like, nah, we're gonna talk shit about the DSA tonight. So look, if you want to apologize to Kamala Harris, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notification bell if you want to know when I go live. Again, usually I try to make these earlier, but it's just my sleep schedule has been a little bit all over the place. Well worth it, don't get me wrong, but this is why we have this late night stream. If you want to support the channel another way, super chat, super stickers are turned on. The gifts and the crystals and all the jewel, I don't know, all that stuff's up and running. And check out the Patreon. $2 gets you access to the Discord this Saturday. They're gonna watch the second half of Battle of Algiers and read a bit of, what was it? Meditations on Fanon's Wretched of the Earth. So that's pretty cool. I appreciate y'all for using that space in that way. And if you want to skip all the nonsense, hit up the Cash App. That always helps, and it's always super beneficial. All right, let's get to it. Thank you so much, Vic. Vic said, I'm with her. Oh, no, that's Hillary, but close enough. All right. This is from Toby Rose. The DSA are not your saviors. On the DSA's lack of revolutionary potential, the failure of entryism, and what needs to be done. Dun, dun, dun. How does this look for y'all? Okay, cool. No love for the East Coast, like veggies in the Twitch chat, keeping it alive. Yes, agacho está difícil. But the thing is, like, it's just never going to really line up with the East Coast in terms of timing the best, unless you're a night owl, or I'm cutting through like the middle of your day, you know. So Wallet Sick, thank you so much for the gold coin for 10 jewels. I don't know what that means. I feel like an even older man because of that. But thank you so much for the support. Here we are, New York. The primaries came and went, and the good people of this city chose socialism over barbarism. Oh, come on, stop. Don't do this. Don't do this to me immediately. Mind you, I saw this article get pushed just a couple minutes before the stream, and I was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. Okay, stop. They saw the first real shot at socialist representation that the United States has seen in decades, and decided to finally make their voices known, after so long that they'd almost forgotten how. No more to Trumpian fascism, no more to the militarized police state, no more to the United States' destructive decline. Now is the time for socialism. Except not really. All right, we're back on track. We're back on track. All right. No spoilers, no peeking. Let's get through this. Turns out, calling something socialism doesn't automatically make it that. Okay. So good. Stop allowing these fuckers to rebrand every couple of years. Tuesday's results were heartening, but they weren't the rumblings of the United States left-wing revolution. Once the dust settles, it will be pretty obvious that what this election showed was 1, the intense fear of ICE that many communities here are feeling, 2, the growing unpopularity of the Israel lobby, 3, the major dissatisfaction with Trump and his disastrous war in Iran, and 4, a lack of confidence in the current leadership of the Democratic Party. I mean, that's pretty fucking concise. Chat, what would you add to this? Especially if you're in the East Coast, what would you add to this? Because I think this covers all the bases, really. Those are 4 solid fucking all-encompassing points. That's okay. I'm not mad at any of those. I think that's accurate. I think that pretty much sums it all up. Oh, that's what I'm forgetting, chat. The Knicks won. The Knicks won. That's what it is. How can I forget Mike from PA's amazing analysis? Oh, God. Americans are dissatisfied and they know where to direct their anger. That's a good thing. However, acting like progressive victories during a historically unpopular Republican presidency are unprecedented is more than short-sighted. That is a great point. Again, how desperate they are to make the DSA victories unique At the end of the day, there's still Democratic Party victories. And when you have a Republican administration, especially one as polarizing as this one, you're going to see a huge response to that administration in the midterms. You're going to see that. Or just anytime there's like a big, swath of elections, you're going to see that type of reaction. It's very common, but because it's DSA and not just a regular Democrat, which is funny enough, Graham Plattner is just a regular Democrat. Again, I don't think he's been endorsed by the DSA yet. But please correct me if I'm wrong. They're just out of date. Toby Rose's Substack is pretty good. Red Sea, you are a nerd. No, this is the first article I think I've read of theirs. And so far, like, I like it. I like when I'm doing like Substack. It needs to be a little bit more personal. Like I understand the need to, come off professional, but I do think that Substack offers a space where you can be a little bit, it's yours, right? It's supposed to be like your independent thing. I know it varies for different Substacks, but if it's your own thing, let me hear your voice. Where are we? We did the 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Americans are dissatisfied. Yeah. Americans are dissatisfied and they know where to direct their anger. That's a good thing. However, acting like progressive victories during a historically unpopular Republican presidency are unprecedented is more than short-sighted. This fever is good to see, but it's not being channeled properly. This fervor is good to see, but it's not being channeled properly. That's mostly because of who's doing the channeling. The Democratic Socialists of America are riding high off of these wins and totally butcher that, sorry. The Democratic Socialists of America are riding high off of these wins, and who could blame them? A substantial number of Americans chose candidates that the DSA endorsed over the centrist establishment. This does not equate a turn to socialism, though, nor does it signal an actual DSA victory. I mean, okay, there is no such thing as a DSA victory. It's not a fucking party. How can it claim victory? The Democratic Party wins regardless. It is so fucking frustrating because it's like, it's not even like going to the casino and knowing that they're always going to win. It's like your winnings, whatever you do manage to win, you're handing off to the casino. All of it. That's exactly what it is. And then you're like, you feel proud because like, I won big tonight. Well, not only does the casino always win, but the money that you're like winning, you're volunteering back to the casino and you think that you're changing or doing something effective. You think that if you pour enough money into the casino, that you're gonna fucking run the casino someday. That is the level of ridiculousness that entryism offers. I mean, there are moral victories. It's not a moral victory when you're normalizing Zionism. Liberal Zionism, but still Zionist nonetheless. Why did I just get a craving for a Pazuki? Is that how you call it? God damn. Just right now, it hit me. I do not know why. It just hit me. Like, I need a warm, chunky ass fucking cookie with just an ice cream on top of it. Huh. Goodfellas style. Yes, definitely. Yeah. The bar. Like, what do I know about a restaurant? What do I know about a restaurant? I don't know. Too risky. Well, Henry's always in there. He might as well be a stool. Yeah, I need to rewatch that. That movie's dangerous to rewatch though, because I'm moving. All right, where are we? The truth of it is that the DSA hasn't really had any real wins, not ever. It's been nothing but a very vocal spectator to the ultimately pretty even wins and losses of the United States' most progressive politicians don't laugh, who they always endorse. AOC's victory wasn't a DSA victory. It was a victory for left-of-center progressive politics generally. I can't hear you though. What about Mamdani? Mamdani's win was not a DSA win either. Try as so many voices might to convince you otherwise, Mamdani's election was exactly like Tuesday's primaries. Rather than being indicative of the mass thirst for socialism, it was indicative of 1. A frustration with the broader Democratic Party, 2. The unpopularity of Andrew Cuomo, and 3. The personal charm and political acumen. Acumen? Yes. The personal charm and political acumen of Zoran Mamdani. Okay. 2 here with Andrew Cuomo. Again, I've been telling you, it happened when I told you. It was, for me, as close to a fucking work as you can get. Let's go ahead and put up this old, dishonored, completely hated sexual harasser. And I'm not talking about George's dad, I'm talking about Andrew Cuomo. So let's put him up one more time against this young, popular, charming, brown Muslim politician. Who gives a fuck what Mamdani was saying? He was going to win. Don't buy this whole, oh, it was close. You know, I don't know, people weren't sure. Nah. I mean, I'll save that joke for the Discord. All right. Walid, why they make unhealthy shit so cheap? I went to Sam's Club and a sundae was $1 and frozen yogurt was 89 cents. Death. And not to be that guy. But is frozen yogurt healthy? So today I picked up a burrito and so it's pretty good. It's pretty good. They used to be fatter. I've noticed that, you know, and they kind of slimmed down on it, which I don't quite like, but they're still pretty good. So I pick up a burrito, and next door, there's like an acai place. Everybody knows where I live now, apparently, so it's fucking stop by and we'll catch a bite. And they asked me, they're like, "Where'd you get the burrito?" And I'm like, "Fuck, like next door. What are you talking about?" I wasn't rude, but I was like, "Oh yeah, next door." And they're like, "Oh yeah, you know, that's whatever, right? Small talk, right?" And then I'm like, "Yeah, whenever I get the burrito, I gotta get an acai bowl so I can pretend I'm not a fucking fat ass and I'm being healthy." But mind you, the acai bowl, like acai has like so much fucking sugar, right? And I do my best to try to balance it out, but I mean, what do you put on top of acai? More fucking fruit. More fucking fruit. So like, what is the fucking point? I don't know. Fucking diabetes over here, shit. Mamdani wins. Where are we at? Where are we at? Sorry. Cuomo. And again, number one being the frustration with the larger Democratic Party is for sure there. The personal charm, I feel like it's kind of combined with Cuomo's unpopularity, but sure. The endorsement of the DSA didn't propel Mamdani to victory. In fact, Mamdani publicly distanced himself from the DSA on multiple occasions. Furthermore, Mamdani's marriage to the left is already starting to show cracks. While he delivered on some easy progressive wins, the growing issue that are his rightward turn on Zionism and his total capitulation to Tish and the NYPD are obvious ticking time bombs. Mamdani isn't the DSA's revolutionary leader. He's just an ambitious but independent political actor with a self-important fan club. I mean, it feels like, again, like it's so fucking performative what the DSA is, because when have they been able to rein in one of their endorsed politicians? When has the DSA been able to check somebody and really bring them to heel? Because the only time I could think of was recently with Alejandra Ocasio-Cortez, and even that I would push back on because it's more strategic in her attempt to play nice again with the DSA in order to have a ground movement, right? In order to mobilize the DSA fucking true believers to door knocking for her again, for whatever her next move is, whether the presidency or whatever, taking over, you know, for Schumer. But it's not real. It's not real. She needed something, so she's pretending that she's going to align with the DSA moving forward. But the moment she gets what she wants, or the moment she no longer needs the DSA, it's back to regular business. All right. Still, I won't fault you for thinking that the DSA is really the trailblazing bunch of change makers they claim to be. After all, it is not just them telling you that they are. Both the liberal media, representing the dying old guard of the Democratic Party, and the conservative media, representing the haggard Zionist factions of the Republican Party, have inaugurated the group as their joint boogeyman. What am I telling y'all about this being kayfabe? About this being a fucking work? What have I been saying about this being a fucking work? They're both in cahoots. Is that how you say it? They're both collaborating to paint the DSA and all its supporters, from the Majority Report to fucking Hassan Piker to, you know, Crystal and Kyle KKK Kalinske. They're all working to paint them as some type of vanguard, some type of individuals that are on the borders, on the margins of where the party is going to eventually head to. But it's not real resistance, because they're not really challenging anything or anyone. It's super fucking performative. Tinfoil hat. It's an inside work. It's a collaborated remarketing PR move of the Democratic Party. The times they are changing and they're adapting. Zohran Mamdani is a useful punching bag for both sides. For stalwart older Dems, he is a too confident Nepo baby who threatens to rock the boat with his big, impossible ideas. For longtime Republicans, he is a Muslim. You can just stop there. You can literally just stop there. There's no reason to put a comma. The dot is fine. The period is fine. Why did I call it a dot? Immigrant socialist. In other words, he's a perfect way to mobilize a dying reactionary base, whether they be center-right or far-right. Similarly, Hassan Piker, a popular streamer from Twitch who is Turkish, is also a great... Ooh, what is this bougie-ass French shit going on? Petit noir. For the establishment. What the fuck is this? All right, Rose. Just confirm that the whiteness over here. Wait, what the fuck? Bête noir is a French phrase literally translating to black beast. What? Wait, what the fuck are we doing here? It is used to describe a person, thing, or idea or situation that some strongly dislike. Well, how does not... Wait, hold the fuck on. Okay, well, I don't know, because the noir, I do know noir, yeah, like, is black. That's why Black Noir is like a hilarious dumbass name. Sorry about that. Is this not... Stop. Wait, is this not just fucking racist? Hold on. I'm not even... I'm generally asking. I don't know the French. Yeah. Thank you so much for the jewels. Backanox. Is the alerts working, by the way, y'all? All right. Actually, let me change it to the live chat. My bad. I know the French like to pretend they're all like progressive and shit. Black sheep without saying black sheep. Okay. All right. It is a legit phrase? Okay. Okay, I've never heard of this at all. Hassan Piker, a popular streamer from Twitch who is Turkish. I love the fact that he's like douche, douche, douche. I like that. That's petty. Ask the AI. Is this racist? I mean, no, because remember, what was I saying? I was saying like the Italian insult. The G one, I guess. The G word for Italians. What was Cuomo? Cuomo's younger brother was like, don't call me Fredo. That's like the N word for Italians. That's a classic. I'm sorry. Cuomo. No, not Andrew Cuomo, but sure. Fredo. I also got to rewatch The Godfather Part 2. It's a classic.
Fredo Gate, a video of CNN anchor Chris Cuomo losing his cool after a heckler called him Fredo goes viral.
But the Alp is the story.
Hey, you didn't know what you were saying, right?
It all happened because CNN anchor Chris Cuomo didn't like being called Fredo, the ineffective son in the God.
One of my favorite scenes. What about me, Michael? What about me? I was the older brother. I love this fucking scene, man. And by this point, Michael's fucking gone. And like, look, two of my favorite things of like, nah. I don't give a fuck if you're blood related. If you're grimy like that, you're getting cut off, right? This scene and Kendrick's, I think he says, what did he say? Something about because he knew me when we were young. I'll cut off my granny if she doesn't see it like I see it. I think is the bar. What is it? From GNX. It's from TV Off. But where's the line? I love that fucking bar. Where is it at? Okay. I hope I muted myself because that was my apologies if I didn't. Okay. Where is it? I'll cut my granny off if she don't see it how I see it. I got a big mouth, but I lack big ideas. But he, no. Got a big mouth, but he lacked big ideas. Yeah. Send him to the moon. That's just how I'm feeling, y'all. Yelling, mustard. Okay. Sorry. Got hella distracted. Yeah. There we go. I love that fucking line. I don't talk about family shit like some crybabies. Some chillones around there. But that, I'm going to tell you just very vaguely. When I heard that line, it really did like, I didn't need therapy. I was like, all right, cool. Kendrick agrees with me. Kendrick agrees with me. It's fine. I'm not going to go to hell. You know? Fuck that shit, bro. I don't care who you are. You normalize fucking abuse. You normalize fucking patriarchy. You're getting cut the fuck off, bro. It ain't complicated. All right. What about me, Michael? What about me?
Backseat to younger brother.
Like, dumb, I'm smart, and I want respect.
Psychologists could probably have a field day about why Chris, the youngest of 5 Cuomo.
Oh my gosh. Who? CBS New York. Psychologists could have a field day. Holy shit, they do not like him. I love that.
Siblings whose older brother Andrew just happens to be the governor of the state of New York didn't like being called.
Don't insult me like that. I didn't insult you. Call me Fredo. It's like I call you punk. You like that?
The video surfaced on a right-wing YouTube channel, causing some to suggest Cuomo was set up. But it was his insistence that calling an Italian-American person Fredo...
It's like the N-word for us.
It's like the N-word.
insistence that calling an Italian American person Fredo.
It's like the N-word for us.
Yeah, so I'm just shocked that North Finkelstein and George aren't using Fredo left and right. These white saviors always trying to find sneaky ways of demonstrating their racism. All right. So I need to change the drop. Any other Fredos? No, just kidding. No, just kidding. Stop. Classic shit. Which is just wild because, like, and y'all educated me on this. Like, the G word, the Italian G word is like, that's what it means. Do you think, honestly, chat, do you think Cuomo knows that, like, that word is anti-black? How is it? Well, you know, because Italian discrimination is normalized. That's why. Most importantly, these two sides find equal villains in the pro-Palestine protest movement, which reminds the US bourgeoisie of the brief whiffs of danger they sense from Occupy and BLM. I don't know. As I get older, what the fuck is the Italian G word? Yeah, I used to drop that shit left and right, you know? And my anti-Italian, hatred was coming out. And I was educated on what it actually meant. I never bothered to even look it up. But of course, again, it's very difficult for me to publicly come out and be like, yeah, like something negative about Afro-pessimism when like every other fucking day I'm reminded of the universal, global, international, borderless reality of anti-blackness. Guido. Is Guido allowed? Can I say you filthy fucking Guido? Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel like the older I get and the more I learn about Occupy, the more just like it reminds me of punk music. Just like a whole lot of aesthetics, a whole lot of yapping. It sounds fucking cool. And it's fundamentally meaningless and it changed nothing. And it's like glorified and sanctified nonstop. Like I remember the whole like punk's not dead bullshit. And it's like, was it ever fucking alive? Like how long was that shit alive for? The fact that punk is so fucking white, or was, that black punks and even brown punks were like just completely erased from that history, it was long dead. This movement, though, targets Israel and thus threatens the entire world system that the West leadership sit atop. The union between these unlikely allies, centrist Democrats and conservative Republicans, how is that unlikely? Whoa, stop. Rose, how is this unlikely? The bad brains, yeah. Although, to be honest, look, I like their slower tracks. And maybe because I'm already biased against punk. What is their one track that I just fucking adore? God damn it, guys, come on. I'll find it real quick. It's not that. I'm not trying to be that guy. It's not that popular. It's really a deep cut. If you're not a real fan, you kind of probably won't get it. See, because I used to have Spotify, and they're like, see if I can find it on my phone. I did appreciate their way of just all right. For the record, Let's see if I can find this real quick on my phone. I don't even know if you're allowed to search. So that I don't have a description anymore. Hold on. Is it quickness? Or eye against eye? I promise I'm not a poser, guys. Or maybe I am. I don't see it over here. Yeah, maybe I am a poser. It's not the Washington one, is it? It's a slower jam by them. I think it's a love song too. Any hardcore fan know what I'm talking about? It was definitely live. I think a lot of their work is, right? Oh, Stay Close to Me? I think that's what it is. Stay Close to Me. It's like the only one of their songs I liked. I just don't like punk music. I'm too aggressive as it is, bro. Like, it just riles me up too much. This is it. Yeah.
It wouldn't matter if you weren't my baby. It wouldn't matter if you didn't care. I only know I love you, lady. I gotta have you always near. And you gotta, I wanna, and you better. So we oughta get together and you start off.
And then
You
back
know
down.
I think you love the way you squeeze and hold me tight. Comparisons to no other.
Yeah, no, that track I was obsessed with for a while. I just love how seamlessly they're able to just, you know, immediately rock out and then bring it back down. And then when it's like slowed down, obviously you get that reggae feel, but it does like you know, say what you want to say, but it does feel like it could be an oldie. Like you could just switch some things around, some instruments, the sound, and it's right there. You just fucking roll with it. But it's a great track. Yeah. Look, Lizzo, I'm not a music snob. I'm not a movie snob. I'm always trying to learn more. But I do try my best to try and like find at least one track of an artist that has as much recognition and renown as the Bad Brains, to be like, all right, there has to be something here that speaks to me, right? And so with them, because I don't really like punk music, a lot of their stuff I wasn't interested in. And then I found that track and I'm like, ooh, this is like perfect. One of my favorite tracks right there. I know a girl who dressed punk and told me she loved punk music. When she finally showed me her favorite punk music, it was Joan Jett, Pat Benatar, and Billy Idol. See? Major Lasers. Come on. You know what I mean? Like, who doesn't love White Wedding? Right? With the Rebel Yell? Like, who? I mean, that's a great fucking track. But I get it. If you're like committed to the attire, to the look, to the aesthetics of it all, then have some deep cuts for sure. But don't, I don't know. I've never liked that. But I get the frustration if you were a punk. I just, you know, smile and nod, I guess. Or maybe I'm worse for being fake about it. I mean, yeah, the Bad Brains, it's early enough, and somebody please correct me because I don't know much about their history, where that punk reggae kind of, the birth of punk through reggae was still relatively close enough to where you could do stuff like that, where you could fucking create a giant mosh pit, you know, one track, and then the other, it's a lot more mellow. And I think that was, honestly, I think it's like more beneficial for shows, for gigs like that, because it gives time the crowd to kind of like settle down and then build back up. I used to go to a lot of ska shows when I was younger, and like, because that's just more of my tempo. Because if I want to like hit somebody, I'll go train. If I want to get hit by somebody, I'll go train. I don't want to go into the pit, into like a legit pit. You're gonna get hit, and I hate that shit because I'm like, I want to get my lick back, and that's not the fucking purpose of it all. So, I'm not a huge fan of that. Ska's a little bit more tamed, a little bit more, more chill. Whereas like, I don't know, punk ska is like, I don't know. I hate dash punk anything. It's just like, all right, bro, you're just playing your genre faster. It's not, that doesn't make him punk, I don't think. All right. Carlos was on the side of the punks in the great emo punk war of the of the thousands, yeah, the 2000s. One of my favorite movies is SLC Punk. SLC Punk. That is for sure one of my favorite movies. I was so fucking faded when I watched this shit. We were hotboxing the local spot, and I remember watching this. I think I told the story before. They had just finished playing Blood In and Blood Out, and of course, our beaner asses were all like, "Play it again." When we got there, and they're like, "We're not playing this shit. We just finished it." And literally, they were at the ending when they're right there. The bridge right there in LA, and they put this on, and all these fools were like metalheads, punk rockers, and all this shit like that, burnouts, if you will. And they threw this shit on, and the homie that's like my brother was there. And mind you, these fools are smokers, right? And this fool just turns around and just goes, "Hey, Carlos." And I'm just fucking gone watching this. I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "You're loving this shit, huh?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah." Because what it really taught me, it's a great movie. Everybody's performance on this is top notch. But what it taught me, and again, the way that I came to a lot of these ideas it's fucking weird, right? But it taught me that white leftists are just performing. That white leftists, given the opportunity, will cash in. All right? That's what they're going to do every single fucking time. They're all posers, man, right? Like, it's that type of shit. They're all in this for the money, for the attention, for the clout, for the self-gratification, for the self-righteousness, to say I'm better than you. But at the end of the day, they're not going to do anything. They're never going to put themselves on the line. It's an individual act that they carry out. And it's so fucking frustrating because it's like so fucking obvious to me. And maybe it took me watching this at a really young age, probably like 19, maybe even 20, and just being just completely out of my mind, hotboxing this tiny little fucking room, and to immediately understand these people cannot be trusted, even if they have the attire, the look, the language, the lingo, you fucking name it. Even if they're creating all these fucking videos or streams, at the end of the day, these fucking white leftists are going to cash in when it's most beneficial to them. Don't fall for their bullshit. I wanted scene hair so bad as a kid. My mother and hairdresser did not support me. I'm sorry that you went through that. Although what I will say is, as you're older, I always encourage people that on Halloween, if you partake in such satanic rituals, live out your childhood fucking dreams of being, the character that you thought of being when you were younger and shit. It doesn't have to be some magical, mystical thing. It could just be like, this is how I wanted to dress. This is how I wanted to do my hair when I was younger. Let me get a wig. Let me fucking get a little dressed up and shit. I think that's healthy for your inner child. I don't know. I was an emo kid, but I don't mind punk music and other genres too. Plus, I understand punk is not for everyone, just like other music genres. I'll vote for you. It's a very, yeah. SLC Punk is a great film. It made you a Matthew Lillard fan. Yeah, he's got some chops, man. I just don't think that he's ever found a role that will give him the recognition that his acting skills represent. I'm thinking about what's this dude from The Mummy? And he came back with The Whale, and everybody was like, holy shit, he can act. George of the Jungle. Oof, I can't remember his name. Fuck off. I'm healed. Just healing people. I'm over here healing childhood trauma left and right. I started with Georgie. I got another client over here. Line up, tell me your childhood traumas, and I will help you out with them the way that you deserve to be helped with them. Brandon Fraser. Yes. All right. Okay. The union between these unlikely allies, centrist Democrats and conservative Republicans, may come as a surprise, but it really shouldn't. What we have seen in the United States these past few years has been the lifting of the veil. The revelation that these two factions are merely the same stewards of neoliberalism and Zionism, miming a diminishingly believable performance of push-pull. Diminishingly. The revelation that these two factions are merely the same stewards of neoliberalism and Zionism, miming a diminishingly believable performance of push and pull. Yeah. I should become a faith healer. I told y'all, right? Like, I'm such a fucking, like, of just a true bastard. My goal was, like, if shit did not work out in my life, like, I was down in the slumps, you know, my goal was I was going to become a pastor. I just knew that if need be, I would fucking start reading the Bible, taking notes and shit like that, and just be able to finesse it. It's not good. I don't recommend it, and I didn't do it, but like the cult and decult, yeah. Like, I legit, yeah, thought that I could pull it off. Mainly because I wasn't part of the congregation, but I did see like a small church once. So like I did walk in there and check it out. And I was like, holy shit, like you could pull off so much bullshit in a small church. Like all you need is like 25 to maybe 50 people. Now I would say 25 to 35 people. And you could pull it off, I think. Yeah. And to be honest, it'd be a whole lot easier than this. Because really what ruins the whole thing, whatever religious, you know, con man you are, what ruins it is the fact that they're like sexual degenerates, that they're fucking perverts, right? That's what ruins it. If you're able to like not be a fucking horrible person like that, just in other ways, you'll be fine. You'll finesse that shit for life. You might have gone there, to be honest. I mean, it's just the problem is that like, unfortunately, like I gotta be honest on here. I think if I had like a pulpit, I wouldn't. Maybe I do need to do like a stream, like a special stream where, you know, when Michael Brooks, the great white savior saint, was still alive, him and Sam Cedar would do like this. I forget when they would do it out of the year, like April Fools maybe, where they would be like reactionaries. And look, I love seeing this because one, I feel like a lot of people forgot about this, and two, it just highlights how completely fucking lacking of personality and charisma Emma Vigeland is, because they could not do this today. What is this? Sam Cedar, Michael Brooks, I forget what they call themselves. Right wing. I don't know. Just put right wing. What was it? What did they call themselves? Does anybody know? Chat. Oh, here it is. Here it is.
Engine optimization.
People die every day, B. But this is, they're just reacting to this, but whatever.
Disgusting. Why do they have to ruin it by saying Hanukkah?
Get me wrong. I think Israel has a right to protect itself from.
What is it? The Ken show or something like that? Yeah, they did it for April Fools.
And get rid of his entire staff. And then, because he was so distracted by the prospect of impeachment, which in some ways is worse than actually getting illegally impeached, because then you're wondering, like, are they going to do it legally? Are they going to do it illegally? You don't know. Are they going to get a full vote from a Republican or a...
Emma, how is this not a white man? Holy shit. Holy shit, look how white he is. How are these not just regular white people? But it's funny that Sam had to play a character to be funny, and Michael was just himself. All right. I think you'll be a better pastor than Hassan, no offense. Well, yeah, that's because Hassan wouldn't be a pastor. Hassan would be an imam. And that's a lot harder to pull off. It's a lot harder to pull off. The one drop rule by Emma Vigeland.
You say we. Who are you referring to when you're talking about Sam, huh?
Well, I don't
Settlers, Europeans.
Hold on.
You're talking about white people or are you talking about Jewish people?
No.
That last bit should I mean, that's an anti-Semitic drop just based on the last bit right there. No. Gio says, I used to love that shit. These white men are the funniest white men in the world, Gio said. Them some funny Jews, Gio said. Remind me why folks don't like Michael Brooks. I think he's the most fucking overrated. I think just because he died, we didn't get to see like who he truly was. I think he definitely would have bent over backwards to defend an Experian. He had already co-signed Emma Vigeland, who at the time was just in love with the pretend Indian Elizabeth Warren. Trash fucking person. Where are we at? Yes, the push and pull performance. Since the movement is far less organized than it is popular, in order to give a face to this specter, the DSA is made the false vanguard of Palestine solidarity. As most are no doubt aware, though, if the DSA were to disappear tomorrow, opinion on Palestine and the organizing that has shaped it would be totally unchanged in the US. The same goes for the hypothetical disappearance of Mamdani or Piker. I would argue the opposite. I think it would give space and room for more radical organizations and individuals to be able to course correct the liberal normalization and embrace of liberal Zionism that both Mamdani and Piker, participate in. And the fact that they both come from Muslim backgrounds highlights what absolute and complete compradors these individuals are. Let's chill with the. This is because the DSA are not behind the movement that has been built these past few years in the US, nor are they the party of the people. They are, in fact, not a party. And that is precisely the problem. Their grassroots facade masks an unfortunate reality. So what is the DSA then? So I deleted those two messages there. If you're indigenous, let me know. And I'll undo it, I guess. But yeah, no, that's using Pocahontas as like a disparagingly like that, like Trump did. Not cool. Y'all gotta remember, Pocahontas was a child. So just let's keep that in mind. The left wing of the possible. The answer to that question is both a little more complicated and a lot less conspiratorial than most DSA haters would like to believe. Oh shit, they're calling us out. God damn it, they're calling us out. Maybe it's us. Maybe it's us. Maybe it's us. God damn it. Okay, let's find out. The answer to that question is both a little more complicated and a lot less conspiratorial than most DSA haters would like to believe. First, we need to break it down into a couple smaller questions, starting with who were the DSA historically? The DSA's co-founder and intellectual forefather is Michael Harrington, old left activist, writer, and founder of the Democratic Socialist Organization Committee, DSOC, which the DSA would be birthed from in a merger of the former with the New Left affiliated New American Movement, NAM. Harrington came into the political world a conservative and a Catholic, but was swayed over to the left by the Catholic worker movement before eventually dropping Catholicism altogether. Who the fuck is this guy? Nah. All right, I used to dislike the DSA for a lot of reasons, but betraying the Roman Catholic Church? I call a vendetta to the DSA for this blasphemy, this betrayal of the most sanctimonious, most legitimate, most consistent and principled of religious institutions on the face of this planet, the Catholic Church. I don't even know if I can read this. I don't even know if I'm allowed to read this level of blasphemy. Heresy is what I say and what I see. I do think this was a Zionist though. Yeah. Well, no, Paul, which is wild because like Palestinians are Muslims. I think that's why they're so convenient compradors, the Mamdanis and Pikers, because they're able to use that Muslim identity as a shield for their allegiance to Zionism. Oh no, heresy. His real political awakening, though, came when he discovered what for many precocious. There we go. His real political awakening, though, came when he discovered what for many a precocious first world quirked up white boy is the most powerful and dangerous weapon around. Trotsky's. That was not funny whatsoever. I found nothing humorous about that. What's the problem with that? No, I will say though, quirked up white boy is fucking hilarious. Quirked up white boy is, homie, Trevor. Oh, Trevor, you're not white. Oh, Toby? Sorry, Trevor. Jesus Christ. Toby Rose. Well, I don't know which one you are. Not the beautiful woman in this picture. Well, thank you for clarifying. Toby Rose, where are you from, homie? Quirked up white boy. Can we steal this? Quirked up white boy is hilarious. I will say this. Please don't crucify me. Much like Maoists or a lot of people like that, I will say that the way like Maoists and Trotskyists who are not quirked up white boys operate, very different. Very different. It's kind of played out. I've never fucking heard this before. What the fuck? But I'm not in the No, I'm not gonna say that. That's rude. That's fucked up. Never mind. We already know the whole Mike from PA situation here. I joke, obviously, but Harrington did become a trot, joining the Young People's Socialist League, YPSL. I like that. YPSL. YPSL. Fucking start a Seinfeld fucking bit here. And then I asked myself, why PSL? Which was led by a Trotskyist and was actually the youth wing of the Socialist Party of America, SPA, which was explicitly not Trotskyist, but majority controlled by Trotskyists. Jesus Christ. Okay. Honestly, I'm not going to get into this. I mean, I'm intrigued at this point. Now I want to learn the history of all these fucking white organizations. It would take far too long to do justice. I bet. Yeah, I fucking bet. To do justice to the history of the American Trotskyism. Just know that the entire socialist US left and every incarnation for about a century now can trace its origin back to Trotskyism. Imagine that being your legacy. Look, respectfully. Oh, fuck. In the US. Shit. While Trotskyism is an ideology, may be totally dead and incapable now. I'm sorry, yeah. I'm sorry. Inside jokes. I'm sorry. I'm trying to focus. Shit, man. Where are we at? My bad. Yeah. Holy shit. What the fuck? Interesting. All right. Its greatest legacy is the inscrutable history of the US left. Most important thing to know about Trotskyism for this article is the concept of entryism, wherein Trots will infiltrate a larger, more established party or organization with the intent of rising up in its leadership and subverting it until it becomes a Trotskyist party. The advantage of this over forming a brand new party are the existing membership, infrastructure, and resources of the infiltrated organization. Trot get kirked? Yeah. Ice pick to the dome is crazy. All right. Entryism has proven itself strategically impossible many times over. From its French turn origins to today, the tactic has always failed for the same reasons. The larger and more powerful host always either absorbs or expels the smaller parasite. Damn. Take the example of the Trotskyist group militant in the UK. They successfully infiltrated the Labour Party just as it entered the Thatcher era, and the group was able to successfully position a number of its members in key leadership positions. However, the more powerful Labour leadership found out about this. I mean, how were they not gonna, bro? What the fuck? Why do these guys keep having secret meetings among themselves? And easily expelled all of its members in what remains one of the biggest controversies in Labour history. Political body snatchers is crazy. It's wild. My bad. Quirked up white boy is something I think I heard Felix from Chapo say. Why would you do that to me? Why would you do this to me? I don't know who Felix is, but I've heard that name associated with Chapo so many fucking times. Yeah. Now I feel gross for liking it. I renounce it. Quirked up white boy is will get you banned in the chat if you use it. Better you find out now, yeah, before I repeat it and somebody thinks I'm a fucking listener. No offense, Dr. Ball. No offense to Chapo Trap House. I hate that fucking name so bad, bro. Like only white men would think that name is fucking cool. God, I fucking hate them. All right. Back to Harrington. He eventually split from the YPSL along with his mentor, Trotskyist. We're just going to keep going with this. Max Schachtman to form the explicitly Trotskyist Independent Socialist League, the ISL. In time, it would be reabsorbed into the SPA, with Harrington now a respected writer and activist who strongly advocated for entryism. His idea of entryism was a departure from the traditional US Trot version, though. Harrington thought that the ideal way to bring about socialism in the United States was by eschewing entirely the concept of a socialist party. Whoa. Did I say that right? Eschewing? Eschew? Hold on.
Eschewing.
Why does it keep giving me this weird? I'm sorry. This accent ain't an American accent, and it ain't right, brother.
Eschewing.
Eschewing. I don't know if that's how I said it, but it is what it is. His idea of entryism was a departure from the traditional US Trot version, though. Harrington thought that the ideal way to bring about socialism in the United States was by eschewing entirely the concept of a socialist party, and instead accepting the US two-party duopoly. He believed that the key to success was to run socialist candidates within the Democratic Party, slowly transforming the party from within. This led to his ubiquitous catchphrase, "the left wing of the possible." Look, I know, and I get it. Bullying is not good. It's not healthy. But I do think that if bullying were to have been enforced a little bit more on Mr. Harrington here, then the left wing of the possible would have been like wedgied, swirlied, stuffed in a locker room out of him. That's all I'm saying. And this was before mass shooters, so it would have been it would have evened out, is what I'm gonna get. How long is this fucking article? What the I'm not reading all this. I am not reading all this, by the way. I'm sorry. We're not doing that. Rose, I'm sure this is a great article. I'll drop it in here, but we got like 5 more things to go. It's already 8:30. Okay. As he moved up within the ranks of the SPA, Harrington and the party would both move to the right. For US socialists, despite their Trotskyist origins, the idea of communism soon came to be synonymous with the USSR. The third camp against both the USA and the USSR became a somewhat distant backing of the United States in the Cold War. SPA leader Norman Thomas, alongside Sackman, would eventually lead the party into explicit anti-communism. The SPA reoriented, positioning itself in lockstep with the anti-communist CIA-backed AFL-CIO. I know, I fucking know. Under its rightist president, George Meany. Mr. Meany. Coincidentally, at the same time as Thomas and the rest of the party's leadership were starting to themselves take money from the CIA. What the fuck? All right. Including at least one time that Thomas personally called up his personal associate, CIA Director Alan Dulles, to lobby for financial assistance. Damn, bro. I think that's a great place to leave it, to make you read this on your own. Oh, that's funny. It's showing. No. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't realize how long that article is. It's great though. Yeah, that's why they call it the AFL-CIA. I always assign homework. But no. Hold on. Bukai Buka Yosnaka. I think so. Yeah. Buka Yosnaka. I always assign homework. By the way, every article, whether I read it all the way through or not, y'all should be reading on your own. What are we doing here? Come on. I do not need a call. I do not need people who lack critical thinking skills. I do not need people who don't do the fucking road work at the very least. Come on now. Buyaka. No. Bukayo. Thank you. Bukayo. He did. That's what he does. That's what he does. Like I'm a villain. That's just what he does. It's just you can't change him. It's who he is. That's hilarious. Yeah. Give me 1 second. I guess 10 is the hard out for tonight. Can't help it. That is a great track though by the Bad Brains. Bukayo. All right. So a lot of people have been talking about Colombia and this reactionary winning, but I wanted to take a step back and kind of provide some context for the U.S. meddling in the election. And yesterday, we covered Camila Galarza from Dropside News. And I just want to do this. Please go check out her Substack. This is from May 31st of this year. And I have the PDF version up just because I think it's easier for reading. Yeah, let me zoom in a little bit. I think right there. Just easier to read for everybody. But please go subscribe to their Substack. And I think this is really important. Provide more context on what's going on in Colombia right now. Keeping it easy. No, I gotta do chores tomorrow for sure in the morning. So remember, I'm streaming with CJ tomorrow on his channel. So yeah, just keep that in mind. No stream here. Streaming with CJ. We got to show some love and support over there. Please link the article. Okay, yeah, I got you. Yeah, this one's another must read over here. Cool, I don't like that. As voting polls close, Colombians face either the continuation of the progressive Pacto Histórico government, which in a single term delivered the largest poverty reduction in the nation's ever seen, or a return to the right-wing doctrine of Plan Colombia. The U.S. Colombian Security Alliance and the counterinsurgency campaign of the 2000s, under which 6,402 poor and disabled Colombian civilians were murdered by US-funded military forces, then dressed in guerrilla uniforms to inflate body counts and satisfy combat quotas. That's absolutely fucking disgusting to take dead bodies, undress them, and then plant this literal like evidence to them. What time? Yeah, sorry, y'all. Sorry, I'm not good with this. We are. So it's gonna be 5 p.m. CST or 3 p.m. PST. Uh, That's CJ's channel right there. Five CST, 3 PST. I said what I said. Okay. My apologies. As voting polls close, Colombians face either the continuation of the progressive Pacto Histórico government, which in a single term delivered the largest poverty reduction the nation's ever seen, or a return to the right-wing doctrine of Plan Colombia, the U.S.-Colombian security alliance and counterinsurgency campaign of the 2000s, under which 6,402 poor and disabled Colombian civilians were murdered by U.S.-funded military forces, then dressed in guerrilla uniforms to inflate body counts and satisfy combat quotas. Which again, think of what that means in reality. You just massacred countless of people, undress them, and put on guerrilla uniforms on them. Just completely disgusting. Thank you so much, Darkness Arising, for the 200 joules and the flow state. Thank you. But their election season has been riddled with interference by Washington officials. Pacto Histórico, the left-wing party that gained mass popularity through a historic general strike only months before its 2022 presidential election, is leading the tight race, with candidate Ivan Cepeda ahead by an estimated 3 points. So, as we now know, he conceded a virtually tied result. Wherever there is evil, the U.S. is involved. Absolutely, Claudia. Cepeda, a Colombian senator and co-founder of the National Movement for Victims of State Crimes, and his running mate, the indigenous human rights advocate and Senator Adia Hulke, campaign on strong economic and agrarian reforms. In particular, the promise to redistribute 1 million hectares of land to communities displaced by the paramilitary violence that has terrorized Colombia's working class for decades. In contrast, Cepeda's closest challenger, Alvarado de la Esprilla, is a millionaire business executive and far-right attorney running on a militarized law and order agenda. His campaign, favored by Trump, proposed reviving aerial fumigation programs long criticized for their impact on rural communities and renewing military cooperation with the Israeli occupation forces, which were central to the formation and arming of the fascist AUC, paramilitary who accumulated an estimated 211,000 reports of human rights violations during Colombia's armed conflict. Jesus fucking Christ, man. I am disgustingly and grossly uneducated on all this. And again, it's why Camila's work is so important. Law and Order, the evolution of transnational justice in Colombia, from the peace process with the AUC 2003 to the FARC 2015. This article examines the role of transnational justice process in promoting sustainable peace process in Colombia by focusing on two most recent peace processes. And reincorporation programs with the United Self-Defense Forces of Colombia in 2003 and the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia in 2016. The purpose of this article is to describe the evolution of the transnational justice framework using specific mechanisms, principles within these two processes, as well as identify the main development and ongoing limitations in the current framework with the FARC. The methodology of the analysis is a comparative law research approach. The key findings of this article are that major improvements have been made in strengthening institutional capacity and ensuring the satisfaction of victims' rights in these processes. However, physical and legal insecurity still present major risks to ex-combatants and therefore to the integrity and success of the peace process. This comparative analysis hopes to provide detailed knowledge to enable the ongoing development and improvement of reincorporating programs in Colombia and worldwide. Should Cepeda win, it will be in spite of sustained U.S. efforts to tilt the playing field against his party. Leaked audio, originally released by El País, reveals a U.S. embassy plot to halt the extradition of drug traffickers in exchange for implicating sitting President Gustavo Petro of Ivan Cepeda's party in their case. Furthermore, then recording authenticated by Colombian intelligence experts and reviewed by Petro's office suggests that Washington officials and Ecuadorian Interpol collaborated to form a group of confidential informants along the Colombian-Ecuadorian border with the intention of framing and entrapping Colombia's first left-wing head of state in history. The parties in the recorded conversation also state that the gringos have factions within the Colombian military that they bribed to flip on the ruling party. This is why, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but it's so important, whether we're talking about Cuba or even, I mean, now it's even harder to say, but definitely when Chavez was around, to educate your military and make sure that they're fucking radicalized and that they're explicitly anti-American and anti-Western hegemony. Anti-Western hegemony. Because this is all too common throughout Latin America. I mean, throughout the world in general. But the idea that the US can always bribe, I mean, they're essentially mercenaries at this point, right?
Se conformó un grupo.
Se conformó un grupo especial. Because see, I want to say confirmed, but it could, isn't it also like gathering? Like a group has been formed.
Avalado por la embajada de Estados Unidos, en el que se tiene que reportar.
So this group that came together on behalf of the U.S. needs to report
Cada mes, cada fin de mes.
Every month, at the end of the month.
Sí. Situaciones en frontera.
The situation on the frontier, on the border, with the objective to.
Con el objetivo de qué? De tener algo en contra de los de allá.
With the goal and the purpose of having something against the other individuals. Thank you so much for the sparkles. For 2 jewels, collective struggle. Thank you so much for that. I'll get better at that, I promise. Shoot. Hold on, give me a sec, because it's not what I want to do. Okay. My bad. I just realized that was like a 3-minute conversation. And it's already late. And I'm sure Camila is going to clarify everything here, so. This alleged plot surfaces just as the DEA and the U.S. Department of Justice have opened an investigation which many legal experts denounce as baseless into President Gustavo Petro's ties to alleged drug trafficking. The move mirrors a strategy. Collective struggle, thank you so much for the jewels, the jewels, the jewels, the jewels. You're far too kind. This alleged plot surfaces just as the DEA and the U.S. Department of Justice have opened an investigation which many legal experts announced as baseless, into President Gustavo Petro's ties to alleged drug trafficking. The move mirrors a strategy of political lawfare that the United States has used to justify taking Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro's hostage, only to later walk back key sections of their indictment against him, and to issue an arrest warrant for Bolivia's former indigenous president, Evo Morales. In an exclusive interview, David Adler, co-founder of Progressive International, who's serving as an elected observer in Bogota this weekend, tells me the United States has a very schizophrenic relationship to the drug trade. No, it doesn't. And the ableism and all that. But no, it does not. I would never describe it as such. Erratic would be the other word, right? Collective struggle. No, I appreciate it. I truly appreciate it. It's all good. On the one hand, we pretend, at least in theory, to be very vocal and vicious about our approach to the war on drugs. On the other, there's a really rich history of well documented in the annals of the National Security Archive about how that same government and the three-letter agencies that populate our deep state have been instrumental in setting up the same architecture in using it as a political instrument wherever it's convenient to realign Latin America's government in service of the U.S. American interests. We've seen that schizophrenia play out in the case of Honduras, where at first we indicted and convicted Juan Orlando Hernandez, and on the second hand, Trump issued him a presidential pardon to reinstall a national party in Honduras that was more favorable to U.S. military and economic interests. So what these leaked audios do is that they fit that broader pattern where the U.S. government has been leveling charges against President Petro and also trying to align the figure and the reputation of Ivan Cepeda with with armed paramilitary groups and their narco trafficking. On the other hand, we'll see evidence of the instrumentalization of the drug issue to basically earn political favors wherever it's convenient. It's a business, man. It's a business. There's no way that the CIA is not in full control of drug trafficking throughout the world. There's just no way. It's just literally impossible. There is no world, right? Definitely not the one we live in, not the one that we're occupying, not the one that we exist in, that the CIA is not the world's largest drug traffickers. That should not be a conspiracy theory. That should not be like something ridiculous to say. I'm not saying they're the only ones, but in this fucking hemisphere, come on now. This is not the first instance of a concerted U.S. Ecuadorian aggression towards Colombia. In March, I don't know why I was showing that. In March, an undetonated American-made bomb was discovered along the Colombian border following a joint operation between the U.S. Southern Command and the Ecuadorian state. The U.S. proxy, which rules by martial law, U.S. boots on the ground, and a Miami-born billionaire as president. Acting on Pentagon intelligence, the Ecuadorian military conducted an airstrike on what they claim was a Colombian FARC-descended drug camp, taking the targets hostage, waterboarding them, and torturing them via electric shock. The New York Times investigation later proved the drug camp was in fact a simple dairy farm with no proof of illicit activity. This is where I get confused. And obviously I'm not questioning the story, but what is the goal of this? Like, what was the goal of kidnapping them? Like, did they, I guess a charitable interpretation would be that they thought that they were. But I think and this is why I struggle with it. If they knew that they weren't, is it just literally like, oh, let's torture them to get practice in? Let's torture them so that there's, we start the psychological warfare against other Colombians? Like, what do you think the goal is? Because obviously they're not trying to extract information. Somebody says, Eduardo says, I suggest people should listen to Alex Avina's interview on the drug trade. Is Alex Avina a Mexican historian? Excuse me. Is Alex Avina a Blaxican historian? Like, no, just kidding. Yes, please. Alex Avina is, I mean, bien chingón. Who can deny this? Somebody I would actually love to speak to, and probably won't because I'd be too nervous. All right. In early 2026, Ecuadorian President Noboa launched a trade war with Colombia and threatened military confrontation. While there's no evidence of Petro's involvement in drug trafficking, Noboa's family shipping company was found trafficking $26 million worth of cocaine. $26 million worth of cocaine. I mean, again, like, why even try to like rationalize, why even try to rationalize with reactionaries in any way, in any regard? Just abandon them. We don't need them. Stop this nonsense of we need this majority. Fuck off. No, we don't. We never have. But it's just like, you could pull shit like this and still point the finger. Why be in discussions with them in any way? And people will know this, whether they know it or not, whether they're ignorant of the details or not, and still support this. A detail that has not deterred the State Department from considering him a top ally in the war on drugs. Exactly. He's the top mover. What do you mean? Employee of the month over there. It's also not the first allegation of a U.S. embassy involvement in bribing and coercing cartel members to frame left-wing politicians. In April, the only living witness in the infamous 2023 assassination of Ecuadorian presidential candidate Fernando Villavicencio claimed he had a USB recording of a U.S. ambassador, presumably Michael Fitzpatrick, and the Ecuadorian Attorney General Diana Salazar, offering him U.S. residency, witness protection, and compensation from the FBI in exchange for testifying to the involvement of Revolucionario Ciudadana Party of former Democratic Socialist President Rafael Correa. As architect of Villavicenio's murder. Oh shit, they were trying to plan that shit on him? That's crazy, bro. A public statement by the U.S. Embassy confirms it advertised a $5 million reward for information on Villavicenio's murder. Fuck, the amount of shamelessness, bro, is ridiculous. Statement by the U.S. diplomatic mission regarding the Organized Crime Rewards Program. Given the request for information from the media regarding U.S. government support in the investigation of the assassination of presidential candidate Fernando Villavicencio. Oh, have I been saying it wrong? Villavicencio. Why am I tripping out here? I've been saying it. Villavicencio. Villavicencio. I'm saying it wrong. Vicencio. Oh, that's why. Villavicencio. I was saying it right earlier, right? What the fuck? That's weird. It's the brain. The Embassy of the United States hereby informs the public that the assassination of any presidential candidate undermines the rule of law and the ability of voters to choose their leaders freely and without fear. The assassination of Mr. Villavicencio. No. Villavicencio. And the resulting violence in the midst of an election campaign is a direct attack on Ecuadorian democracy. The U.S. government immediately accepted the president's request to provide technical assistance and professional advice through the FBI. The United States seeks to combine efforts with the Ecuadorian authorities and to share experience from other organized crime investigations worldwide. The technical and professional support for Ecuadorian authorities is ongoing. The USA Department Reward Program is currently offering up to $5 million. Who do you think you kidnapped? Chelsea Clinton. For information leading to the arrest and or conviction of the accomplices and masterminds of the murder, and up to $1 million for information leading to the identification or location of any person in a key leadership position in the transnational organized crime group responsible for the murder of Mr. Villavicencio. Wow. Hold on, I gotta make a quick call. No. Why am I? Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody got murdered. I'm sorry. Sencio. Sorry, I wasn't looking at chat at all. Rush Hour is the best buddy cop comedy, or I think just the best buddy whatever comedy. But yes, technically propaganda buddy cop comedy. Yeah, I keep mixing it up. I don't know why. Jeez, what the fuck? Is this what y'all do when it's late? Like Casey Anthony Jesus Christ. Like Casey Anthony asking us to help her find her baby. Jesus. Sencillo. The fall off. Okay. An offer that the FBI documents verify was also provided to detain witnesses during the interrogation process. In 2024, Dropsite News published leaked messages from Attorney General Salazar that revealed her politically motivated efforts to construct a narrative linking Revolución Ciudadana. I keep saying that. Ciudadana. Ciudadana. There you go. Revolución Ciudadana. To the case. The report also stated that Villavicencio was a U.S. government asset, seeming to explain why the FBI took a special interest in the case. Nah, we should be laughing. What the fuck? The state's witness, Jose Patricio Aguas Munoz, was a former member of Los Lobos cartel, which Ecuador's judiciary system has named as the guns for hire of the assassination, and was indeed provided witness protection for several months. Munoz told journalists that Attorney General Salazar presented him two options: take the deal or be sent to Los Lobos controlled Latacunga, or be sent to Los Lobos controlled Latacunga prison, where the cartel would kill him for snitching on them. 48 hours after publicly coming forward about the coercion, he was detained by Ecuadorian authorities and sent to that very Latacunga prison. Now, was he murdered though? Did he get away scot-free? No. The transfer drew security from the public. The transfer drew scrutiny from the public over why the state would send their key witness in an open case to a prison it has publicly condemned as controlled by the organized crime unit he was informing on. Political lawfare analysts suspect it was retaliation for speaking to the press. Safe to assume? While Washington's lawfare and coups against progressive governments in Latin America is nothing new, aggression towards Petro is surprising, considering he's played ball with the Yankees for far more than the staunchly anti-imperialist president of the Pink Tide. Analogy Nature, thank you so much for the 1,000 joules. Appreciate it. Petro's administration continued to collect $45 million in annual U.S. security aid throughout the Biden administration, deployed Urbista-era tactics in this war on guerrillas in their war on guerrillas, including the bombing of children as young as 10 years old in Catatumbo, a violation of the Geneva Convention. Oh, come on, don't do that to me. In Colombia, Petro fends off criticism over killing of child rebel recruits. I mean, even the way that's worded is weird as fuck. 8 underage rebel recruits were killed last week after the Colombian government launched a fresh military offensive against a prominent armed group, according to President Gustavo Petro. The news comes amid soaring child recruitment by Colombia's armed groups in recent years and has ignited a debate over whether forced recruits can be protected on the battlefield. In a Monday post on the social media platform Twitter, President Petro confirmed that 7 adolescents were killed in the government bombing campaign in the southern Gueveria department on November 10th. Another minor was killed 3 days later, on November 13th, in the government offensive in the eastern department, Arauca. Those deaths bring the total numbers of teenage fatalities to at least 12 in under 2 months. Quote, all of them were victims of forced recruitment by criminals who dragged them into hostilities and deprived them of protection, Petro himself, a former rebel, wrote in the post. But the question of how to protect children recruits is a controversial one in Colombia, where armed actors have increasingly sought to exploit minors. An uptick in children recruitment. For more than 6 decades, an armed conflict has roiled Colombia, pitting government forces against right-wing paramilitaries, left-wing rebels, and criminal groups. Official government statistics suggest that those groups have sought to grow their ranks by appealing to people under the age of 18 and in some cases coercing them into work. According to the government, the number of child recruits has increased by 1,000% from 2021 to 2024. Damn. Where are we? Okay, we're over here. Yeah, we're over here. How we doing, chat? ¿Cómo andamos? What is the jewel stuff? I don't Can somebody explain that to me? I should know, you know? That's how you know I'm not a fucking businessman. I'm not business minded like that. I have no idea what it is. Claudia says, LOL, played ball with the Yankees, was good. That was a nice little bar, wasn't it? Double entendre there. But I got like 12 subscribers on Twitch. I don't know what that means either. It's like Twitch bits. What's a bits? Okay. But I appreciate the effort, Espiritus. Lávate las manos. Where are we at? I need that drop. The Lávate las manos drop. That's the one I need next. This one.
How do I reach these kids?
All right. Oh no, that was bad timing. I'm sorry. God, I do that so much in real life too. God damn it. I'm sorry. That was not appropriate timing for that section of the article. Maintained the FBI office in Bogota. A stark contrast with the left-wing governments that expelled U.S. intelligence bases and echoed State Department narratives portraying Venezuela's president, Nicolás Maduro, as an illegitimate dictator. In 2025, the State Department even reaffirmed Colombia's status as a major non-NATO ally. In other words, like, even this is not enough. Even, like, willing to murder children, playing ball, and all this is just like insufficient. They need fascist reactionaries in power. Keeping it easy. You're good. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I do not remember. I'm sorry. Nonetheless, Petro's governance ushered in landmark reforms comprised of a labor policy that raised the minimum wage of working conditions for night shifts, financial assistance programs for households in extreme poverty, and an aggressive tax hike on mining conglomerates. For a nation that's been repressed by fascism for so long, Hugo Chavez even called it the Israel of Latin America. Petro kindled hope for a more equal and sovereign society. And Washington appears unsatisfied with anything short of a nation's full surrender to its imperial political agenda. Let's just look for you. That's fine. I guess I go a little bit more, right? Relations soured after Petro publicly condemned the Trump administration's indiscriminate and extrajudicial airstrikes on boats in the Pacific and the Caribbean, which to date have killed 202 people. Tensions escalated further when Petro took to the streets of New York to denounce U.S. complicity in the Palestinian genocide, calling on American soldiers to disobey the orders of Trump, obey the orders of humanity, and to not point their rifles at humanity. What was the purpose of that? Because I remember that. What was the goal of it? Like, if we're talking about performative bullshit, I mean, I think that's fucking yipper. I think that's what, like, a prime example of that. Like, you're a head of state. Like, you could actually, like, do shit. What is marching and chanting gonna do? Like, in my mind, was it worth it? Since you accomplished nothing? What's the drama going on in here? Oh my gosh. Look, I'm gonna be on stream tomorrow with CJ. Can we save the Stalin slandering for that for tomorrow? Yeah. That's Yipper's catchphrase. What'd I do? Because did I do that? He's already been sued trying to use that before and not paying royalties. The latest development in the lawfare campaign against Petro, where am I at? Brazilian? Okay, yeah. This latest development in the lawfare campaign against Pacto Histórico underscores the futility of attempting to find middle ground with Washington at the expense of solidarity with neighboring allies. A lesson that Brazilian head of state, Lula da Silva, also learned the hard way on Friday, just days after President Lula sent aid to the U.S. puppet regime of Rodrigo Paz, directly undermining the general strike that Bolivia trade federations and their indigenous members have led for almost 30 days now. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio slapped the global terrorist label on two of Brazil's largest gangs, a move often used to manufacture consent for U.S. military intervention. President Lula condemned this designation as a threat to Brazil's sovereignty, saying, "We refuse to be treated like a banana republic," and reiterated his domestic agency's ability to combat Brazil's organized crime crisis. However, Lula had no issue supporting. God damn, this is great. I fucking love this. And again, shout out to the great white hope himself, the great white savior saint, Michael Brooks. His obsession with Lula was fucking weird, bro. Like, this almost cried meeting Lula. That's what I'm saying. What the fuck are we doing here, man? The bar is so fucking low. The bar is so goddamn low. They have fucking people glorifying an incel sexual harasser as somehow principled and worth following. Ridiculous. The only thing he's following is his father's footsteps. All right. However, Lula had no issue supporting U.S. intervention elsewhere. Between 2004 and 2007, he deployed 37,000 Brazilian troops to Haiti to assist the MINUSTA, What's the acronym for? Ooh. Some real nerd shit if you see the .org. Brazil MINUSTA. Brazil's participation in MINUSTA. But what the fuck is MINUSTA? Is this like one of those things where like everybody knows what MINUSTA is? We're not even going to explain it. And my dumbass is like, what does it mean? Brazil's contribution to the United Nations mission started exactly 70 years ago when Brazilian military officers and diplomats participated in the first multinational team authorized by organizations to act. I don't know what the fuck. Come on. A UN peacemaking operation that operated in Haiti from 2004 to 2007. But what is the acronym, fool? All the letters are capitalized. There has to be an acronym to something, no? Oh, here it is. The United Nations Stabilization Mission in Haiti. No. Why the fuck would that? United Nations. What the fuck? Oh my God. From Portuguese. Estoy bien pendejo, güey. I'm gonna say this for another time because this is interesting. Well, I mean, it's 2017. How significant is it? 121 pages? Nah, fuck that shit, bro. Yeah. You know, I don't know why y'all watch me. I don't get it. But I appreciate it. Del corazón, I appreciate it. Estoy bien, güey. Ay. He deployed 37,000 Brazilian troops to Haiti to assist MINUSTA, a U.S.-led peacekeeping mission in Haiti that began with George W. Bush ordering U.S. troops to kidnap President Jean Bertrand Aristide, commencing a coup d'etat and de facto military occupation. Plain sight, thank you so much for the jewels. This is where Ivan Cepeda stands apart. His public record has been defined by years of solidarity with campesinos collectives resisting North American mining corporations and their hitmen, pursuing judicial investigations into U.S. assets like former President Alvaro Uribe and his U.S.-backed paramilitary war, recognizing Nicolás Maduro's presidency, defending Venezuela's right to self-determination, and denouncing the January 3rd incursion and abduction. Cepeda's campaign reflects a fidelity to the pink tide's anti-imperialist politics, albeit, though, a model of social capitalism that has strong criticism from the more revolutionary and proletariat sections of the Colombian left, many of whom were instrumental in Pacto Histórico's ascent to power. So, I mean, again, much like Petro, this is another, like, very, very, like, I don't know if I want to call him, like, DSA style fucking candidate, but again, somebody that will play ball. And still, this is not enough. For centuries, Colombia's working class have waged militant rank-and-file labor and land struggle from the southwest of Cauca to the northern tip of La Guajira. In fact, campesinos in the Cesar region of Colombia have currently mobilized strikes to expropriate the land they've worked for years from Colombian banks and aristocrats' plantation owners. They've worked for years from Colombian banks and aristocratic plantation owners. These revolutionary movements, which gave everything to successfully topple decades of fascism, have grown increasingly dissatisfied with the Petro administration's preservation of capitalist land relations, neoliberal policies and failure to push through more radical economic reforms that other presidents from Rafael Correa to Hugo Chavez achieved in their first term. I think honestly, the way to go if you're the first time you're elected as a left-leaning president in Latin America is to just move like you're about to get assassinated. Move like you're about to get couped. Like, don't wait, don't play nice. Literally move, act, and carry yourself and dictate your administration's moves as if you have a gun to your head. Because you fucking do. Still, given the choice between fascism and social democracy, Colombia's working class voters, whose memories of decades marked by right-wing bloodshed are still painfully fresh, have made clear Cepeda is the candidate that best represents them in the race. If you'd like to continue reading more investigative journalism and political analysis like this, please consider becoming a paid subscriber via Substack. One-time donations are also accepted via Venmo at Camila Laures and are allocated to support equipment fees, transportation costs, and other expenses necessary to delivering stories from the front lines of Latin America. And of course, you could always check out Camila's appearance on Millennials Are Killing Capitalism with Jared. I'm actually going to tap out here. My apologies. Oh, you know what? No. I think there's only 2, 3, like, let's at least, no, I'll knock it out. We're good. Fuck it, we're good. Y'all have been dope and supporting all night. I don't know what the jewels are. So, I've seen a lot of jewels. I see shiny things, and I'm happy. So, we're going to finish this article here just because it's so fucking important, and I felt guilty last night for tapping out and just saying, like, nah, we got to finish this. But let me just make sure I'm all good here. I really am craving that Pasuki or however it's fucking called. And then I'm not streaming tomorrow because I'll be with CJ. A true capitalist. What's that track that not all that shines is gold? Is it who is it? It's not Neil Young, is it? No, it's not Neil Young. All Star? No. If I'm saying Neil Young, it's something like in that genre. Huh. Okay, let's knock this out here. The president said. The precedent. No, is it just president? President. The president said the Department of Justice successful conviction over the possession of leftist anti-Trump or anti-ICE literature may be novel, but it's part of the Trump's administration broader crackdown against protesters. It's a strategy that had little success in the courtroom. The ProPublica and Frontline investigation earlier this year found that over a third of more than 300 anti-ICE protest cases crumbled. In Chicago, anti-ICE protesters were charged with conspiring to obstruct law enforcement operations. A case was tossed last month over alleged prosecutorial misconduct, and defendants known as the Broader View 6 are now pushing for an investigation into the case's handling. No, it's literally all that glitters ain't gold. I'm just a good old
Saw
country
your
boy.
picture on the poster in a cafe out in Phoenix. Guess you're still the sweetheart of
I missed you, baby.
As for me and little Casey,
Little Casey.
we still make the circuit
That's right.
in a one-horse trailer and a mobile home.
Just one horse and a mobile home. All we need.
She still asks about you all the time,
Casey's a girl.
and I guess we never even cross your mind.
Heartbreak.
But ooh, sometimes I think about you and the way you used to ride down the Rolling Stones and your sequin.
No, the song sounds dope. Don't get me wrong, but it's not the one I was thinking about. It's not Dylan. It's not Neil Young. It's not Joanne. Oh, who is it? Oh, is it fucking Bruce Springsteen? I can't. It's pretty late for the Grand Planner voice. Is it Bruce Springsteen? God damn it! It better not be Bruce fucking Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen has a cover of Bob Marley's Get Up and Stand Up. We have to watch this. Stop. We gotta watch this nonsense. I don't want to sign in. God damn it. Neil Diamond? Speedy Tooth. Fuck off. Why that glitters in gold? Fuck, it's not Dylan, is it? I better not. There's no way Dylan used that fucking whack ass line. He wouldn't dare. Oh my God. Fuck off. I know exactly who it is now. I just saw it. I fucking hate myself right now. I'm truly, nobody's gotten it. Nobody's gotten it. And you know what? For the first time since I started streaming, I think we might need more white people in this. You'll see why. You'll see why immediately. I am so mad at all of you right now. How is it possible that we did not think of? I was so off. One of the most famous songs like ever in like recorded history. What the fuck are we doing? I mean, okay, I won't encourage it, but can we step up? Like, please support the channel because we're getting this just getting cut. This is Led Zeppelin. There's no way I'm gonna monetize this fucking this stream. Super chat, super stickers, jewel, star, sparkling shit, whatever that is. Check out the Patreon. $2 gets you access to the Discord, and if you want to miss all the BS, check out Just hit up the Cash App. Yeah, there we go. All ruckus country, brother. All rock and roll's country. All rock and rolls is the blues. Rambling is great. Yeah. Hold on. Why wouldn't they have the lyrics? That's weird. Is that not weird for them not to have the lyrics? I just want to know what minute this fucking that line is. There's a lady.
When she gets there, she knows if the stores are all closed. With a word, she can get
What she's here for.
Ooh, and she's buying a stairway to heaven.
I'm not worthy.
Sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure. 'Cause you know sometimes words have two meanings. In a tree by the brook, there's a songbird who sings. Sometimes all of our thoughts are misgiven.
I don't know when they dropped the line. Close. Songbird, misgivings, makes you wonder, feeling like crying, leaving, thoughts arranged, joys. Damn, it's deep in there. Whisper, yo, what? And they're supposing head. Um. Where the fuck is it? Oh, it's literally at the start of the song? Fuck off. No, it's not. Did we just miss it?
But she can be sure.
It's literally the first line. God damn it. I'm so impatient.
There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a stairway to heaven.
All right. Worth demonetizing the stream and me being able to sleep tonight. I'm sorry. It's just, it's not a healthy place. It's at the end and the beginning. Aren't all things, Yipper? Aren't all things? Isn't that what really life is and death? Both at the beginning and the end. Please buy my VHS recordings of life in all its meanings. All right. God damn, I'm so sorry, y'all. It's scratched 100%. Okay. That was all me. I don't even know what. I don't even know how. Glitter to glitter, dust to dust. Now play it backwards. All right. Jesus, man. Yeah. All that is getting cut. But after the Prairieland conviction, federal prosecutors have had at least one other success. In Spokane, Washington, 3 people were convicted last month of conspiring to impede a federal officer over a protest to block an ICE vehicle attempting to transport 2 migrants. And the Justice Department shows no signs of stopping. Last week, 15 people in Minneapolis, Minnesota, were hit with the same charges of conspiracy to obstruct ICE operations and were accused of being a part of Antifa, groups that violently oppose migration law enforcement. That's crazy. Look, real quick. Led Zeppelin stole everything from black artists. Like legally, this is a thing. So in a way, You Woman You, kind of anti-black, if we're being honest here. Just just saying. What legal experts say differentiate Prairieland from many other federal protest cases that fall apart was that the police officer was shot, according to Shaina Cadillac, senior managing attorney at the Center for Constitutional Rights. The combination of property damage and injuring an officer is what the state built a conspiracy case around. While the government said protester Benjamin Champagne Song fired directly after the officer with the intention to kill, her attorney showed footage from the shooting that suggests Song fired at the ground as a warning shot or an attempt to distract the officer, raising doubts that she intended to shoot him. Defendant's supporters have hired an investigator to further study the evidence released from the shooting. You know, I talked about this privately. I talked about this privately, and I don't know how to word it yet. And I don't think it's the time. But what I will say is, you shoot at a pig, and whether you hit or not, you're fucked. That's all I'm saying. I'll give you one of these.
Wait, what do you think about Luis Farrakhan?
I'm a huge fan, so you can't accuse me of that. Me and Luis Farrakhan, like that. During the trial, the judge refused to let the defendants enter a self-defense plea. Song, a former U.S. Marine, was the only one convicted of attempted murder of a government employee and discharging a weapon. In a statement issued after she received 100 years in federal prison, Song wrote that she brought her weapon out of fear that law enforcement would hurt or kill protesters, as in the case of Renee Good and Alex Preddy, protesters who were shot and killed by immigration enforcement officers in Minnesota earlier this year. The wrong lesson was learned. Yeah. This is wrong, she said, of the charges against the 21 others. This is mass punishment. This is collective punishment. This is guilt by association. This is injustice. Some of the defendants, including Song, were part of the Socialist Rifle Association and legally owned guns, which the federal government presented as evidence of intended violence. God, I mean, the point is, I think that's the first thing that the state has said or proposed that is kind of like accurate or should be. You know what I mean? Like that should be. I don't know, this whole shooting on the ground thing. That's just not, man. That's fucked. Many marginalized communities, especially trans people, have opted to engage in the Second Amendment in recent years amid rising hate crimes. Homemade first aid kits carried by Prairieland demonstrators were also presented as evidence that they planned for violence. Sanchez said, making those first aid kits was something we were incredibly proud of. Sanchez is a teacher and started bringing the first aid kit with him in case he needed to make a tourniquet for a student during a school shooting. Yeah, I mean, fuck. It is normal to charge. Is it normal to charge a terrorism offense in this context? Said Kadila. Kadida? No, Kadidol? Kadidal. Kadidal? Let's go with that. Said Kadidal. It strikes me as excessive, and I think it would strike an ordinary American listening to this conversation as excessive. Savannah Batten, another member of the Emma Goldman Book Club, has been sentenced to 50 years in federal prison. The eighth defendant convicted, Zachary Evans, was also sentenced to 50 years. When I visited her in the Wichita Falls jail in May, her spirits were bright despite her circumstances. I wanted to ask her about what she's been reading, but wondered if she was scared to answer. It's crazy that I've lived in a world where it's not safe to ask what books you're reading, she said. Batten, a vegan who has often had to go hungry in prison, said her life outside revolved around nature and her companion's pets, a cat named Garfielda, who she brought on a leash on hikes, and 6 rescued hermit crabs. Yeah. God. Only a vegan. All right. And 6 rescued hermit crabs, the first 2 of which she found in a dumpster. In jail, she is reading a book about the natural history of crabs, and she tells me that hermit crabs have. Come on, that's kind of low-key heartbreaking. That hermit crabs can live for 40 years when not in captivity. Why the fuck is that gonna make me cry, bro? Fuck, man. What the fuck? Why the fuck would you include that? Holy shit. What the fuck? What the fuck? That is... God damn it, bro. That's it. Yeah, Soy Chillon, I know this, but like, who the fuck adds this out of nowhere? Like, nothing on the fucking article was like this fucking heartfelt. I'm sorry, maybe I'm misremembering, but god fucking damn it. How are you making hermit crabs? God damn it. Because they carry their homes with them, you know? The irony is not lost. Baden trailed off, hearing herself describe the humanity of hermit crabs inside a jail where the only place she can see the sky is under bars. I understand that living in captivity is inherently awful. Fuck, man. Yeah, we gotta knock this out. God damn. That's so fucked up. Like, what the fuck? Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. What's next? Legal experts say the president, set by the Prairieland conviction, will have mirrored. Legal experts say that the president, set by the Prairieland conviction, will have myriad consequences for organizing and protesting, including the platforms organizers rely on to safely do that work, like the secure messaging app Signal. After the Justice Department used the app to gather evidence against the Prairieland defendants, Apple has since responded by patching the security bug that had allowed the government to view previously deleted messages. Oh, fucking shit. Don't believe it. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. Absolutely not. Do not buy this fucking story. Apple fixes bug that let FBI extract deleted Signal messages after 404 media coverage. The move comes directly in response to 404 Media's coverage about how the FBI was able to recover incoming Signal messages from an iPhone because the messages were saved in the device notification storage. Jesus, man. This post that is extremely important will only be behind a paywall. Love it. I get it, but goddamn, come on. A local chapter of 5051, one of the groups behind the No Kings protest, was also implicated in the Prairieland trial. A witness for the government who claimed to be part of the decentralized movement testified for the prosecution about working with law enforcement during the protest at the same location earlier on the 4th of July. However, Hunter Doon, a national press coordinator for 501, has said he has been unable to reach that individual and that she doesn't speak on behalf of the group. The average 5051 group does not have a relationship with law enforcement, said Doon. You sure about that? Another local 5051 affiliate was named in the recent Minneapolis protest indictment. Doon, citing the Brennan Center for Justice, said the FBI is using the Trump administration's SPM 7 memo to categorize any leftist protest as domestic terrorism. In doing so, they're using the meaningless, vacuous description to justify going after protesters that make them personally uncomfortable, or that they fear may lead to the eventual end of their administration by non-violent means. That's how you defeat fascism, through non-violent means. We all know this. This is an objective fact. Bro, you're... Oh my God. Doom believes that the federal assault on protest rights will have a chilling effect, but it will also do the opposite, invite others to join. While Sanchez awaits his state trial, he has been going to weekly potlucks at the Unitarian Universalist Church in Fort Worth, hosted by church members and his support committee for Prairieland defendants. Volunteers write character letters to support the defendants while they eat. At a May potluck, organizers laid out zines about the defendants with bright illustrations of their faces, and the table with the community dinner. On the day of the sentencing, they rallied outside the Fort Worth courthouse and planned potluck for the following nights. With the formation of the support committee, the community around the case has only grown stronger. More people joined, like Amber Lowray, a school board activist and Baden's sister. Before the charges, Lowray didn't understand who anarchists were and didn't know any trans people. She says joining the support committee changed her whole outlook on the world. Now, she has started making social media videos about the case. Let's be nice and not say this is some weird opportunism. Let's be nice. In a statement alongside the Dallas-Fort Worth In a statement alongside the Dallas-Fort Worth Support Committee, Lowray pledged to fight to overturn the conviction, saying, "We will not rest until they are free." The defendants and supporters interviewed by The Guardian said the case casts leftists, trans people, or anyone who condemns the Trump administration as threats to Texas society, people the state had already been attacking for years. Cosa and Hill moved to the state in 2023, at the height of anti-trans bills across the country in defiance of that narrative. What the in defiance of that. They had loved ones in Texas and people who loved them back. Look, I'll only say this. Maybe I'm misreading it. But there's countless people in these red states who are desperate to leave them for safety. And now maybe they were there and they were providing aid for trans people that were in desperate need. I'm trying to, I'm trying. But like, I hope this is just misinterpretation by the writer, because in defiance, just putting yourself in risk in defiance of that, I don't think it's worth it. I really don't. If you were there to help and aid other trans people, then all right, you're a pipeline to wherever you came from prior to Texas. Solidarity for Prairieland defendants was on display at a local bookstore, which gave away zines describing their case, and sold screen printed patches reading "Song did nothing wrong" and "Zins are not a crime" to cover their bail fees. The support committee is encouraging anyone following the case to launch their own Emma Goldman book club. Others have traveled to the area to join the group in mutual aid, protesting outside the courthouse and supporting the defendants. A zine distributor is selling packet of zines, including I said zines, huh? A zine distributor is selling a packet of zines included in the government exhibit files to fundraise for the defendants, titled "The Government Doesn't Want You to Read These Zins." The defendants and their supporters knew most would get the harshest possible punishment. What keeps them going is the knowledge that nothing lasts forever. That's just the author, but okay. What do you mean nothing? Son of Song's poems, written this winter in solitary confinement, have already been compiled in a zine. The last one is titled "All at Once." Time is a circle, not a straight line. Our warmest embrace, happening yesterday, still happening today, will go on tomorrow. All at once, the world can overwhelm me. There's almost nothing you can tell me that could ease my mind. I gotta find the rest of this. Which way will they run when it's always all around you? And the feeling lost and found you again, the feeling that we have no control. Around the sun, some say. There's going to be a new hell, some say. It's too early to tell, some say. It really is no myth at all. Keep asking ourselves, are we really strong enough? There's so many things that we got too proud of. We're too proud of, we're too proud of. I want to take the preconceived out from underneath your feet. We could shake it off. Instead, we'll plant some seeds. We'll watch them as they grow, and with each new beat from your heart, the roots grow deeper. The branches, will they reach for what? Nobody really knows. But underneath it all, there's this heart all alone. What about when it's gone? And it really won't be so long. Sometimes it feels like a heart is no place to be singing from at all. There's a world we've never seen. There's still hope between the dreams. The weight of it all could blow away with a breeze. If you're waiting on the wind, don't forget to breathe. Because as the darkness gets deeper, we'll be sinking as we reach for love. At least something we can hold. But I'll reach to you from where time just can't go. Jack Johnson, All at Once. Sleeping Through the Static is a great fucking album. You Woman You. That was a big part of the conversation that I was having privately, and I decided not to really focus in on that. But the fact that you're serving life essentially for setting off fireworks and tagging. And look, fuck it. Like, oh man, if you're gonna take a shot, take a fucking shot. It's about to be 10 p.m. over here, y'all. I know it's not, a kind thing to say, but it's just kind of like, you're going to do life for shooting on the ground, and you brought this weapon for self-defense. Remember what Glenn Ford said, organize with eyes wide open. Start of the stream. 3 hours. All right, kept it at 3 hours. I'm not mad at that. Thank you for all the support. Truly, truly appreciate it. Again, go check out Camila's work. Go watch their interviews if you want to learn more about Latin America. Nobody does it better. I'll be on with CJ tomorrow. CJ the Radical. 5 CST, 3 PST. So I'll see y'all then. And now, The Beast by John Trudell. In a wisp of smoke down on the corner, there was this cat named Fortunately, talking at me from voices in his head, yelling about what storyteller said. You gotta be careful here, child. There's a beast in the promised land. There's madness you don't understand. The beast is crazed and running wild. Little boy, man, little girl, woman, no big deal. Nothing personal. Your mind's another meal. Savoring the rush of you like heady wine. Feeding is what the beast is meant to do. Stranger are those walls built to hide. Stranger to look and learn not to see. He's in the mask you put on your face. Thoughts, his favorite breeding place. In the race to midnight, it's after 11. The nature of the beast is all he knows. Behind doors of hell are gates of heaven. Doors are open, but the gates are closed. Yes, Stu.